Hi guys, so in today's video, I'm just going to be doing voiceover of some Minecraft parkour gameplay. I'm literally just in the Hive's lobby, just doing the parkour, so it's whatever. But today I'm going to do another story time because I haven't done one of these in a while. The last time I did one, it got, I think, 7 likes or something like that, so I'm doing another one. This time I'm going to be telling stories from scout camp because I got some pretty good ones. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first story I'm going to tell you is from the first year I went there. I've been there 3 years and we were supposed to go this year, but because of the pandemic we weren't able to. But this first story is from the first year, and I've got, I think, 2, maybe 3 from first year. So this one, this was my first year at the camp, right? And they had just introduced this new thing where, like, if you wanted to, you could call the concession stand, because they had like a, whatchamacallit, it's like a concession stand almost, but like they sell merchandise there and stuff, like an outpost. I don't really know. Either way, you could buy things there, and they sold food, and so if you wanted to, you could call the I'm really can't remember what this thing was called. You could call the concession stand, right? And you could order a pizza, and you could have them deliver it by 4-wheeler to your campground. And so, a group of kids in my troop, they ordered a pizza, and then this other kid, Jake, who has been in my videos a couple times, he 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 ate their pizza because they had like they went to this concession stands and ordered the pizza, but they said they wanted it delivered by a certain time, or like at a certain time, but they weren't back by then, so they went and delivered it, and Jake just ate the pizza. And then they got all mad, so then our scout leader bought them another pizza, but that was pretty funny. So this next story is also from the first year. So basically, we had a bunch of bug spray that was just out on our picnic tables, and one kid in our scout troop thought it'd be a bright idea to dump out all the bug spray in one of the bottles and replace it with water. So everyone in our troop was just spraying water on themselves when they used that can of bug spray. It wasn't a can because you weren't allowed to have cans, because a couple years back some kids like threw it into a fire, like sprayed it into a fire, and the can blew up or something like that. I don't know. We weren't allowed to have cans of bug spray. You could only have like squirting bottles. So they filled the bottle with bug spray, and anyone who used that bottle would just be spraying water on themselves. And Jake, who's in the last story from the first year, he pretty much only used that bottle, and he just got eaten alive by bugs. Like, he was getting like bitten everywhere, and then he would scratch it and just irritate. He got so many infections from that. I'm pretty sure he still has like scars from it too, so that was rough for him. Kind of feel bad for him about that one. But yeah, the kid ended up getting in trouble with our scout leader. And yeah. So one more story from the first year I went there. So there was a rifle range, right? And they also had a shotgun range, but that's later in the video. This one is about the rifle range. So it's like you would shoot a bolt action rifle, you'd load one bullet in at a time. It's like an actual gun, right? And they had paper targets like 30 meters. No, I really don't know how far away it was. I'm just assuming it was 30 meters. I don't know if that's far away or not. I don't know measurements and distance or anything like that, because I don't know. I just don't. And like, I never really asked the instructor how far away are the targets, because they weren't terribly far. But anyways, this is when I just started playing Fortnite, and my genius self figured, oh, if bullets drop in Fortnite like hundreds of meters out, then surely the bullets will drop when it's like right in front of us. So I'm like aiming higher than I'm supposed to, and so I'm just like not hitting the target. I kept hitting the wire that's holding the target up, so the wire kept breaking. Like, It was really dumb, come to think of it, but I mean, I have precision enough to hit the like I had enough precision to hit the wire, which honestly I think is pretty impressive. I do say so myself. But then again, I was also kind of a moron for thinking that the bullet would drop at that distance. So I like shot the wire like 5 times. And we had to stop everyone from shooting just so we could go and replace the wire. It was, I mean, I felt bad, but it was kind of funny at the same time. So, alright, so now we're on to year number 2 of going to scout camp. And this is where the shotgun range comes into play. So, the rule for the shotgun range, it used to be you had to be 14 to shoot. But this year, like the year I went, I was 13, about to turn 14 when I had gone to the camp. But they had changed the rule to like now if you know how to load the gun and hold it properly or shoot it properly, then you can shoot the shotgun. So I was able to go to the shotgun range and shoot the shotgun. And the shotgun range was a little different than the rifle range. It had a different instructor, but instead of like you shooting at well, I mean, you're obviously shooting at a target, like you have something that you're aiming at to shoot, but it wasn't like a paper target. It was a pigeon. It's not like a bird pigeon, but it's a clay pigeon. So it's like a bright orange clay disc that's shot out of a machine, and it like glides through the air, and you have to like track it with the shotgun and then shoot it at a certain point. And I was really bad at it at first. I mean, I got better because in the third year I took the shotgun shooting merit badge, so I got good at it. But I'm obviously still not great, but I can kind of shoot a shotgun. But I went and shot this one day, and I wasn't hitting anything. I mean, my scout mates were just hitting everything, and I couldn't hit anything. And then I hit my first pigeon. I mean, it wasn't like a direct hit, but I like skimmed it with one of the pellets. And like I turned around with a shotgun. I was so excited. Everyone was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like I wasn't aiming it at anyone. I was holding it up, but like I just turned around with the gun, and everyone was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Put it back!" I'm like, "Oh shoot, my bad." So yeah, that one wasn't really that funny, but you know, I figured I'd tell it because it's like the only eventful thing that happened that year, except for this next story. So this story has a little bit of background. So every year the camp has like a theme. My first year going, it was like a superhero theme. My second year, which is what this story is from, it was like a Hawaiian, like island type theme. And then last year's, which was the third year, it was a gaming theme. So like I said, the theme for the second year was island, and every Friday, so we get there on a Sunday and we leave on a Saturday, so it's like a week-long camping trip. And every Friday, the camp has like a camp-wide game where all the scout troops like compete in a game. And so this year it was on the water because this campground was like on a pond. And so, there wasn't really much to it. I mean, there was some parts on the land, but then other parts on the water. Like most of it was on the water. And so there's a lot of boats involved. It was like a relay race almost, but with boats and in the water. And so we had to maneuver different boats. So there was like the rowboat, which I maneuvered. Yes, I rowed a rowboat. So there's the rowboat, there's the canoe, there's the kayak, and then there's the sailboat. And so I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I remember now. All right, I forgot a little bit, but so before it starts, I had to row out to a buoy, like all the way on the other side of the pond, and then I just kind of sat there for a little bit until like the games actually started, where someone, I think it started with the kayak. Yeah, I think it started with the kayak. So I don't remember who was driving each boat. All I remember is I only remember who was driving the sailboat, but that's besides the point. So the person in the kayak paddles over to me. I don't know. They get over to me and they give me a frisbee, which is the thing that we're passing around, and then I just put the frisbee in the boat, and then I start rowing over to the I think it was a sailboat that I had to go to, and that took so long because I'd never driven a sailboat before, or not a sailboat, a rowboat before. Like, I understood the mechanics. Like, I actually was not half bad at it, but I wasn't great. And so I'm like rowing over to the sailboat, and that took ages. And then once I finally got over, I gave them the frisbee. And then I didn't really have any other responsibilities then. Like, I didn't have to do anything else. So I just had to get myself back to shore. And that was a train wreck. Because I was like rowing, right? And yeah, so I was rowing, right? And then I got so tired. Like, I got destroyed by the rowboat. Like, my arms were killing me. I had no energy. I was just like stranded in the middle of this ginormous pond. And I still had like a bunch of distance to go to get to the shore. And so I'm just like, wow, I'm actually going to die out here. I'm going to need the lifeguards to come like rescue me. But I eventually made it back and like alive too. So yeah, that was something. All right, so now on to year number 3, and year number 3 is pretty uneventful, but I'm just gonna tell some stories from the merit badges that I did. So that year, after my catastrophe out in the middle of the pond on the rowboat, my genius self decided to take the rowing merit badge, and so I actually didn't do too bad at the beginning. There was only me and 2 other kids doing it, and they were like 16 and 17 or something like that. Like, they were a little older than me. But and then there's the instructor, obviously. And so everything was going great until I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday when we had to learn how to flip the boat. Like, not like we had to flip the boat ourselves, but we had to learn like what to do if the boat capsized. So we were over here like standing up in the boat, rocking it back and forth, and like there's water spilling in, and then eventually it just goes under. And these are like metal boats too, right? And they're pretty big. And so what we had to do is we had to capsize the boat, and then we had to get it back to shore. So we went a decent amount out. Like, we didn't go too far, but we didn't go like 2 inches away from the shore. And so we capsized the boat, right? And I actually don't remember how we managed to get it back. I think what we did is we tried to flip it. Like, I think what you were supposed to do is you try to flip it back over. We were supposed to try to flip it back over. And if you couldn't, then what you do is you, I think what we did is we had one person, like, go under it and, like, lift it up over the water. And then we had someone in the back pushing it. Because we did this with a partner, and it worked out perfectly. So one person went with the instructor, and then I had another guy with me. And so we were able to get it back to shore. So what you do once you get, because the rowboats, you don't like get them actually onto the beach. You just put them on you tie them to the dock. And so once we get it back to the dock, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have one guy get out of the water and like go to the edge, and then have them like grab the front of the boat and like pull it up onto the dock. That way you're able to flip it while it's like leaned against the dock, and then you can push it back into the water. So yeah, that was actually it was like that got my adrenaline pumping, but it was fun. I actually really enjoyed that. And when I say the third year was uneventful, I mean, it wasn't like nothing really funny happened. Like, there wasn't really anything exciting, but I did do this program called COPE, which it's basically a team building program. And I was the only one in my scout troop who did it that year, but I really can't talk. There was 3 kids and my scout leader who had done it in years past. I was just the only one doing it that year. And so, basically, it went from like 7 to 9, so it was like a 2-hour thing, but like at 9 it was just like it was dark out, right? It was either 9 or 10. I think I got back around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, unless if I wanted to stop at the showers quickly to take a shower, then I would get back at like 10:30. where most of my troop is like winding down, getting ready for bed. But so I had to leave dinner early. This was like my least favorite part about this, is I had to leave dinner early to go to cope. So I would get to dinner with my scout, because we had colors, which is where you raise in the morning, like you raise the flag in the morning and then you lower at night. And then so we go in and we eat, right? And we have to wait a little bit because dinner doesn't get ready for like a little bit. And then once it's ready, I get like 5 minutes maybe to eat the food, and then I have to walk to where cope starts. And so that was just annoying. But the cope experience was all in all really fun. I enjoyed it. And then so the last day we did it was Friday, which is when the camp-wide games were. And so the third year's theme was video games. And so basically they I wasn't there for it, but I have a lot of gamers in my group. Like not like I mean they're gamers, but they're more like retro gamers. Like there's 3 kids in my group who really enjoy retro video games, and then obviously my Scoutmasters. So we ended up winning, and I wasn't even there. I was at cope because this cope, like on the Friday, the cope wasn't during night; it was during the day. And I'm not gonna spoil what happened in case any of you guys are scouts and you want to do it someday. But yeah, I missed out on the camp-wide games, but we ended up winning. My troop ended up winning, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's about it for stories from camp. I was kind of bummed out that we didn't get to go this year because I've only been there 3 years, but our troop has been going there for like 7 years. So this was going to be our last year going, and we were going to have like a special thing. Like we were just going to be riding 4-wheelers all day, every day. But it's whatever. We might go next year. I have no clue. We haven't really talked about it since we haven't had a scout meeting in a couple weeks. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.